Hey guys, It here. This is tutorial on Sampletank. So Sampletank is a multi-channel instrument VST. So let's start by looking at the screen, which is our channels. We can have 16 channels. We load instruments by navigating through the menu right here. So let's choose some instrument. So right now these are folders, black ones are instruments. Then you can open up the instruments and see different versions of the instrument. So let's load bridge fingered. So now it plays. Let's load something else. So I'm choosing empty slot in our channels. Then I'm closing the menu. Then I'm navigating to choose another instrument. But now I chose the piano acoustic grand one, but I cannot play it for some reason. That is because I'm only playing the first channel right now. So I can change the channel right here. So acoustic grand can also become any channel I want. If I set both of them to 1, so I'll play both instruments at the same time. These are solo and mute. So if I have 3 instruments, for example, let's load another electric guitar and set it also to 1. Now I have 3 instruments playing, so I'm soloing to play only one of them and muting to just mute one. So that's how it works. Okay, so how do I compose? I want them to be different channels. I don't want them playing at the same time, and I want to compose for each of them separately. The best way to do it is to make MIDI out channels. So let's make some MIDI outs. I made 3 MIDI out channels for every instrument, and now for MIDI out channels to work, I need to set the port of my Sampletank. So I'm going to set input port to 1 through this menu. So now I need to also match the port of the Sampletank. So I choose port 1, 2 on all of them, and now this is going to be my guitar. I mean bass guitar. So I'm going to choose port 1 channel 2 for the piano, and now for electric guitar channel 3. Now I can compose individually for the instruments. Yeah, whatever. So that works. And now, however, there's also another problem with MIDI out channels. They have different channels set to them, but all of them use the same mixer slot. So I'll link Sampletank to mixer slot 3, and all of the instruments use the same mixer slot. So the way you do it, if you want your instruments to use different mixer slots, you just change the setting right here. And not just that, but you also need to go to this menu again, click on processing and click automap inputs. And now 1 plus 2 means this channel. 3 plus 4 is 1. 5 plus 6 is 3 is 2. Sorry. And you can see what this menu does for the multi-channel VSTs, it sets so this channel is set to 0, so it will be originally where the Sampletank is loaded. This instrument will use the same mixer slot. I can set -1, so it will use this slot. 1 means just +1, so it means the third mixer slot +1, which means 4. So that's how you use multiple instruments. So yeah, so I just showed you how to set it up and how to use the instrument and this menu pretty much. So to navigate you can also use these buttons, but mouse is actually quicker. Click Alt to reset the menu. You can use undo to undo the last selected instrument, but only once, so that's kind of useless. Actually, I don't use the save preset, so I don't know what it does. Search is kind of useful. So I have this bonus sounds right here, and sometimes if I want to really see all of the sounds, search returns more results than navigating through the menu usually. It's really good search. Polyphony is just a joke actually. It says like if I set polyphony to 1 of my instruments don't play anymore. It's just that. If I set to 2, the third one doesn't play. So that's what it does. Maybe that's to save RAM or something. But yeah, just use as little sample tanks as possible. Use MIDI out channels to conserve the CPU usage, because usually I don't have that much RAM or CPU load, but still it starts crackling, so it's really weird. So okay, this menu is clear. This right here, you save your combination of instruments. This is MIDI quick learn. These buttons are useless. The folder and I are useless. This is MIDI quick learn, I think, for a MIDI controller. And there are some pre-made not libraries, but like, yeah, it's kind of useless. But it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't use the presets, but maybe you'll find some of them useful. Usually those are like layered sounds. Use this menu to empty all of your channels by clicking reset combi. So okay, let's load up something. So also you have macro. Yeah, I think macro is different for all of the instruments or something like that. You have some synth and filter. That's pretty nice. And we have the volume envelopes. So usually I use the envelopes if I don't like. Usually I use them if I'm using some pads or something like full orchestra and it's too slow, so I just reduce the attack so it's more sudden. So that's one way to use it. So yeah, the legato is kind of not useful. Yeah, let's get back. It also has LFO, so some of the strings are pitch modulated. Yeah, so you can change the settings. I don't know, I don't use LFOs, I just use envelopes sometimes. mm, yeah, more importantly, I use the effect. So these knobs are for the, once you choose macro synth or filter, all of these knobs change up. And yeah, just if you want to switch something up, these are the volume ADSR. So the legato, usually most of the instruments who would naturally have legato have the sound, have usually those instruments have the samples of it. For example, the brass, it has some phrases or whatever. So that's more natural than using legato, but maybe you also need to use it. Let's set to, let's turn it off. I don't think that's possible with trumpet, or maybe it is. So this instrument, yeah, this is master. So this master is for all the instruments, and these controls of panning and volume is for current instrument only. Yeah, let's decrease. It stays decreased. So, oops. And finally, we can have, for each instrument, we can have up to 5 effects. Oh, actually only 4. The EQ is always there, I guess. Yeah, it seems so. So you can choose to enable effect or disable it. So I usually, yeah, I like some of the quick delay, so you can sync it to the BPM to 140. So it has all sorts of delays. The distortions are usually used on the guitars and they sound pretty good, so you can just load some guitar and try to change up the, oops, it's drums. You can try to load up a guitar and just change the type of distortion. No, these aren't with distortion. This guy is. So yeah, you can also set the effects for the master channel. I mean, for all the instruments. So I hope you enjoyed